Finally. Speak, fool. Tread lightly. Speak, fool. Tread lightly.
First blood.
No one orders me around. What is it now? Ah, at last. Finally. I'll make sure. No one orders me around. Ah, at last. Finally.
Double
Frostborn
kill.
hungers. Finally. Tread lightly. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers.
Our forces are
No
under
one
attack.
orders me around. What a killing begins. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. Tread lightly. What is it now? Ah, at last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Speak. This is more like it. What is it now?
Do you want axe? Let the killing begin. Let the killing begin. What you want?
No one orders me around. Tread lightly. Your pain shall be felt. Speak, fool. Finally. Tread lightly. Ah, at last. Frostmourne
Our
hungers.
allies' hero has fallen.
Finally. Frostmourne hungers. What is it now? This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. This is more like it. Speak, fool. Finally. I'll make sure you suffer. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. Finally. Faithless coward. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Glory to the Scourge. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly.
Our allies' hero has
Finally.
fallen.
Speak, fool. Ah, at last. This is more like it. No one orders me around. Finally. Ah, at last. You will know endless. Finally. Ah, at last. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. Tread lightly. Frostmourne
Our allies'
hungers.
hero has fallen.
Your pain shall be legendary. No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. I'll make sure. Your pain shall be legendary. This is more like it. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Your mana is depleted.
What is it now? At last. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. Speak, fool. What is it now? Frostmourne hungers.
Are under attack.
At last. This is more like it. Glory to the Scourge. Fate is coward. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. This is more like it.
Allied hero has
Finally. This is more like it. At last. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Now, Frostmourne. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Our hero has fallen.
Hello there.
Our allies' hero has fallen.
Tread lightly. This is more like it. Finally. At last. No one orders me around. Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. This is more like it. What is it now? Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Speak, fool. No one orders me around. For the Lich King. This is more like it. What is it now?
Our allies' hero has fallen. Our allies' hero has fallen.
Speak, fool. At last. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. At last. Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. This is what is it now? Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Glory to the Scourge. Finally. This is more like it. No one orders me. Your pain is legendary. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allies' hero has fallen.
Tread lightly. Finally. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Finally. Speak, fool. Tread lightly. Faithless coward. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Ah, at last. For the Lich King. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. This is more like it. Ah, at last. What is it now? No one orders me around. Your pain shall be legendary. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. Ah, at last. Tread lightly. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. No one orders me around. Faithless coward. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. For the Lich King.
Our allies' hero has fallen.
Ah, at last. This is tread lightly. What is it now? Speak, fool. Ah, at last. Tread lightly. What is it now? Finally. This is more like it. Finally. No one orders me around. Tread lightly. At last. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Finally. Glory to the Scourge. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. Your pain shall be legendary. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Speak, fool. Glory to the Scourge. At last.
Our hero has fallen. Our
What is it now? Finally. Speak, fool. What is it now? Ah, at last. This is more like it. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Ah, at last. No one orders me. At last. This is more
Allied hero has fallen.
at last. This is more like it. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. At last. You will know endless torment. Now, finally. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Our allied hero has fallen.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Our forces are under
This is
attack.
more like it. Finally. Now, Frostmourne. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. For the Lich King. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. You will know endless torment.
Your mana
Speak,
is
fool.
Forces are under attack.
No one orders me around. Tread lightly. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Glory to the Scourge. This is more like it. Finally.
Our hero has fallen. Our allied hero has fallen.
Double kill. Double kill.
Our allied hero has fallen.
Speak, fool. No one orders me around. What is it now? Frostmourne hunger. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. No one orders me around. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Faithless coward. What is it? Ah, at last. Tread lightly. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Speak, fool. This is more like it. I'll make sure you suffer. Ah, at last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally. Tread lightly. This is more like it. What is it now? Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Ah, at last.
Your mana.
No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Our
What is it
allies'
now?
hero has fallen.
Tread lightly. Ah, at last.
Your mana.
What is it now? Finally. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. No one orders me around. Tread lightly. Finally. What is it now? No one orders me. Speak, fool. Tread lightly. Finally. What is it now? This is more like it. Ah, at last. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. This is more like it.
Our allies'
What is it
hero
now?
has fallen.
Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally. This is more like it. No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Faithless coward. Tread lightly. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Your pain shall be legendary. Finally.
Our forces are under attack.
No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. What is it now? Ah, at last. No one orders me around. Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it. At last. No one orders me. Speak, fool. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Glory to the scourge. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it.
Your mana.
No one will be around. Frostmourne hungers.
Our allies' hero has
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Speak, fool.
You will know endless torment.
Tread lightly. Speak, fool. Ah, at last. Your pain shall be legendary. No one. At last. Finally. Glory to the Scourge. Frostborn hungers. Endless.
You're mine.
Finally. This is what
For the under attack.
at last. Your pain shall be legendary. Finally. Frostborn hungers. Finally. At last. Frostborn hungers. At last. Finally. At last. Frostborn hungers. At last. Finally. At last. Finally. Tread lightly. This is more. Finally. This is more. Now. Finally. Your pain is ready. Speak. At last. Tread lightly. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it.
You're mine.
No one will leave around. At last. Frostborn hungers. Finally. Frostborn hungers. At last. Now. Glory to the Scourge. Your pain shall be legendary. Faithless coward. Oh, son. Frostborn hungers. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. Glory to the Scourge.